Alrighty, let's do this. Welcome to the PlayStation 4 Elite Series, hosted by Race Spec, and it's the Tier 3, Season 3, Race 3, at the new addition to the season, the Netherlands track for the Dutch Grand Prix. I'm your commentator, Mike Wilson. Who cares? Let's get into the action. It'll be very interesting to see what some of these guys can do on, I mean, it's not like they haven't been practicing hour after hour, but it is still a new track per se, so interesting to see if any driver shows a particular advantage, or see if they take any different lines through different corners, or if they all take a similar approach to racing in the Netherlands. So at the moment, early, apologies for the delay in getting started, just good old internet. But early on, it's Tanguo into provisional pole. He's gone 109.6 with the stone towel, just over a tenth behind in 109.7 region. See if we can find someone on a hot lap. Not there. Blinky. Last week's race winner in Bahrain. Made the one-stop work. Kept his rivals at bay and took home 25 points. No doubt he'll be looking for a good points haul today, as will the rest of the drivers. Not on a quick lap at the moment. Let's see what Jensen's up to. Yeah, and I myself have not yet watched any races on this game at this track, so I would have very little clue as to what strategy the drivers may be looking at taking during the race. So far, it looks like they're all trying to qualify on the soft. I don't know if anyone's going to go for a medium start. I wouldn't have a clue, to be honest, if they'll be looking at one stop or two stops throughout the race. So here's Geordie in the Ferrari, about to kick off a hot lap. See if he can move himself up from 14th. Oh, and he's not going to manage it with that. Just goes round and round at the first corner, so he's going to have to abort that one. Still the shiz. What's he got now? Can he take himself up from the penultimate spot? 17th? Not quite. And does the same as Geordie in the same spot. Jensen heading out for another crack at the pole time. Meanwhile, 4K0 moves to the top in the McLaren. That's a hot lap. 109.5. Just a tenth ahead of Tanguo now. Pretty tight all the way down to 8th. That's what we want to see. Nice and tight the whole way through. Makes for close racing. And action aplenty. See if Geordie's having another crack at it. got through the first corner okay this time. 1:11.2, he's trying to better. Through that fast right-hander, 7th gear. Just comes off the throttle. Down to 6th right again. Quickly dip to 3rd, and then up to 4th on the exit. Quick chirp of the throttle in 5th before attacking the left-hander. DRS open, down to this one. This is a tricky little corner, this. Looks unsuspecting, but it can catch you out. Got to get the apex on the right correct before flicking it back to the left. It's sort of like a mini double. Left-hander, and then through the banked right-hander. See what kind of lap this will be for Geordie. Moves himself up to 14th. Ken Tenmar has departed the session. Didn't quite see what happened to him. You might be able to see him, well, yeah, as the ground swallows him and his loose wheel up. That's as high as Ken will be going in 16th. There's the installator. I think he's got Jensen behind him. I assume both are on a hot lap. No. Yes. Thought he was going to box. Moves up to 6th, and immediately Jensen pushes him down to 7th. By about half a tenth. Here's Mort in 8th, going to try and get into the 109s, and my word, he does. Goes to the top with a 109.3. Hot stuff from Mort in the Williams. Cracking lap. That could take some beating. But I'm sure there's plenty of drivers who will want to have something to say about that one. Just going to do a quick sound check there as we lost the stream briefly. And looks like we are rocking and rolling once more. Alright, Morton first, 4K0 in the McLaren in second. So many fast-flowing corners on this track. It's a pleasure to watch and a pleasure to drive. A shame we didn't get to see the real F1 cars in action on these bends, but with any luck, maybe next year. 4K0. And Breno's departed the session. .4K0, he goes faster, but just doesn't manage to get the pole. Shame. Now it looks like Blinky's going to have a last crack at it, try and improve on his 7th. Locks the tyres hard. Oh, gets a tank slapper on at the exit. He's got half a second to make up if he's going to snatch pole. He's already 2/10 up on his own fastest time. So even that kind of improvement alone could see him sneak up to the second row. That's close now. Less than a 10th off the leader after Sector 2. Oh, good exit was crucial there, and he's invalidated the lap. That's unfortunate. Oh. Well, that was fast. Blinky. So that will be about it, I think, is the Renault's still on a hot lap. WA Huddens out of the last corner, foot to the floor. Looks like so he'll finish the session 3/10 off the pole time. Just behind his teammate Tangwo, only 0.04 of a second ahead. So it's Maud on pole position by just a fraction. Shout out to Sasha in the comments asking to show off Miki, but sorry mate, I'll try and get a bit more of the great man in the race for you. Looking forward to see how the early laps unfold here. I haven't seen racing on this track yet, and with those fast sections in the early parts of the lap, it'll be interesting to see how the drivers negotiate those wheel to wheel. There's your standings. Maud on top with a 109.282. Alright, I'll just take a quick break and be back in time for the race. Alrighty, as the drivers head round on the warm-up lap, led by Mort. He'll be looking for a good result today. Only currently 3 points so far in the championship. And in pole position should give him a good chance to try and close the gap up ahead. The championship leader is Tango down in 4th. And in 2nd place in the standings, just 6 points behind, is the Stone Towel. Actually, there's 3 drivers 6 points behind. Stone Towel and Blinky starting in 8th, and Okmiki in 11th. So as the drivers head round to the grid, ready for the start of what should be an enthralling 36 laps. See what kind of view Mr. Director can give us off the start line. Ah, these rear views serve nowhere. We go. I'll have to stick with the pole man by the looks of it. Apparently it's lap 2 already. Now lap 1, so the lights are about to come on and we're about to get underway in the Netherlands. Off and go. And a drive-through penalty for Still the Shiz. Apparently, I don't know if that's going to apply or if that's just an error, but the standings go all over the place. But the pole man keeps his first place. Are they all going to get round the first corner safely? It looks so. McLaren into the second. Renault of Tanguo smoking a tyre. He goes off and wide. Takes a Haas with him. Keeps it together though. No contact so far from what I can see as the drivers head through the fast section now. Oh, plenty of ghosting going on in the early stages, but they all appear to have gotten through safely. There's the racing point of Blinky. He's going to have a look up the inside. That'll be close. They all avoid each other. And this is good. We may get through the first lap with all the cars pointing in the right direction. So heading down to the chicane, it's Mort, 4K 0, Breno, Jensen, Tanguo. There's a El Tonki going wide through the chicane. He's got the Ferraris on his tail as a result. Keeps him at bay. Tyres smoking everywhere. Locked wheels early as the drivers try to get some temperature into the tyres. So lap 1, just head up the front of the field. So plenty of drivers jockeying for position, but something's gone badly wrong for Mort now. He's down to 7th. I'm not sure what happened, if it might have gone wrong into the first corner for him. Actually, is that showing correctly? No, it's not. Pardon me, just looking at those botched results on the left-hand side there. Okay, it's all good, Mort fans. You can take a breath. He's still in the lead. Still looking sharp. And 4K 0 trailing in second, with Breno in third. And Jensen, who did make 6 places, up from 10th. He's been the fast starter of the pack. But good to see they all made it through safely. Still the Shiz has dropped way back. And not sure what happened. So as they complete the second lap now, just get those interval gaps happening there so we can try and track down where the action may be about to occur. The Stone Towel's the man closing in on 9th place, WA Huddins. As we've seen from the Stone Towel in the first 2 races, he doesn't like to sit still for long, not afraid to get the elbows out and make a pass. Renault cannot shake him. The Alpha handling well. Glued to the track. Glued to the Renault. Where will he look for a spot to make a pass? So top 10 drivers all on the softs at the moment, 11th and below on the mediums, bar for Neva Sweden and Haas on the softs, as we see the Renault, it was once being, oh, he's cut the corner, he just got in a bit too deep. I was going to say, after being tracked by the Stone Towel, who's going to now look for a double overtake. Still has the Renault on his outside, but he'll make it stick through that banked final corner, and he can set off after Blinky now. Though WA Huddins might have something to say about that yet, as we see him come back up the inside, pokes his nose through. They go very wide through there. I thought they were going to touch, but they keep it together, and there's a Williams into the wall. It's Okmiki's gone round, slammed into the fence, and a piece of his front wing goes missing. So he's going to have to box to get that sorted out. Oh, sorry, Sasha. Didn't get to show Okmiki until he was pile driving the fence, unfortunately. As we go back to the Stone Towel, he's dispatched WA Huddins what looks like for good this time, and can head off once more after Blinky. Looks like plenty of dust on the track. Up ahead, Jack Plays, the fan favourite from Bahrain last week. He is on the tail of Tangwo in 6th, and right on the tail. He's going to, the Renault going wide there out of the chicane. So Jack Plays is going to look to stick not. He's gone a bit wide. Get a warning for that, no doubt, as now he sticks nice and close to the Renault, heading onto the start-finish straight. But that Renault's got a fair bit of straight line speed to burn, and pulls away at the critical point. Oh, Renault cutting the grass. That'll help Jack Plays close up, but it's going to be hard to get through this next winding speed section. Kicks up some dust into the face of Jack Plays, holding on to 6th place. So let's do a quick position check on lap 5. Mort's still in the lead with 4K0, just over a second behind. Renault maintaining that 3rd position. Might be in a somewhat of a holding pattern at this stage, just trying to look after those tyres. Not Jensen though, he made up 6 places from the start, from 10th to get to 4th. He is on the move. The Installator in 5th, Tangwo in 6th. And we've got a yellow flag. Is it the mashed potato? It was, might have gone round. Just starting sector 2. And that's allowed. Still the Shiz. Oh, they're smoking brakes. He's gone wide in the Alpha. Gathers it up on those ice cold hard tyres. And Okmiki still running, albeit in last. Still 30 laps to go to make an impression, make up some places, make up for the spin. I'm not sure if he did that on his own or was tipped into the wall, but so Jensen is just closing on Renault. He won't be satisfied with that hefty haul of 6 places. He'll want to make up another one. But he's got to be careful. The Installator is not too far behind. There's a move down the bottom. Jack Play got up the inside. Tangwo switches back and retakes the place. Just couldn't make it stick, young Jack. I say young Jack, I don't know. Could be 95 as far as I know, to be honest. But so Blinky still watching these two battle it out from the safety of 8th place. Waiting for a mistake, waiting for any sniff of an error so he can jump up the inside. These soft tyres aren't going to last too long at this rate, with the tyres locking every second corner. This is where Jack makes up the place on the ground on Tangwo, but it's just not an ideal place to be trying to make an overtake. Fast flowing corners. You know, this was the fear of some of the F1 drivers when it was announced we were going to be racing in the Netherlands, that there may not be too many overtaking opportunities through these fast corners, but the Let's see if Jack, with the assistance of GRS, can try and chuck it up the inside at the chicane again. He has a peek. Tyres squealing into the chicane, but can't quite get through there. So out of the final corner once more. So he closes in at the exit there, and then the Renault. Oh, he's not pulling away this time, but it's not going to be close enough for Jack. Hangs it out wide. This is the apex. Renault kicking up dirt, cutting daisies left, right and centre. He goes a bit wide. And Blinky all the while just stalking. Last week's race winner Blinky. Was getting used to the smell of fresh air out front last week in Bahrain. Now has to sniff the exhaust fumes of these two battling it out up ahead. And let's not forget the Stone Towel just behind. So they're in a bit of a, might be in a little bit of a DRS train here. Oh, Stone Towel, like a rodeo horse over the curbs. Keeps it together though. This is good, a little four-way battle going on. Interesting to see how long they can make those soft tyres last compared to the likes of Maud, who's out front in clear air. 3-second lead for the leader now. Tyres smoking hard once again. Oh, Jack gets a bit wobbly out of the hairpin. He's going to have Blinky on his outside and he will take the position. So moves up. Can he set off after Tango himself and try and make a move? I don't think Jack Play's quite done yet. Oh, the Stone Towel up the inside there of Jack Plays. Jack holds it on the outside though. No contact, still good clean racing. Look at this chain of cars heading into Sector 3 now. Oh, apologies, still Sector 2. Stone Towel making his presence felt there, just sticking the nose up the inside, letting Jack know he's there. So the battle from 6th to 9th refuses to die down. Might just take a little look back further down the field with what's happened. Is that Jack Plays? Who's gone off? It's 4K0 out of second place into the fence. Well, not sure if there was contact or not, but he's dropped down some 7 positions. Looks to have the front wing intact, so that's a bonus if anything. A silver lining to the dark cloud that was that spin, but oh, and up ahead, is that the Stone Towel? He's gone round and lost his front wing. It's all happening now. Absolute scenes in the Netherlands. So the Stone Towel, he won't be able to continue on without pitting for a new wing. And will it be time for him to try and chuck on a set of hards and go through to the end? No disaster for the Stone Towel. Solid hauls of points in the first 2 races. Was looking to capitalise and build on those. Now he's got his work cut out for him. As we go back to WA Huddens, actually we might just quickly check in with Jack Plays doing his usual stalking out of the... Well, the Renault of Tango goes into the pits. Hope he got that slowed down in time. So that will be a wing change as well. And 4K0 joining him. Maybe there was damage. Maybe the damage isn't just showing up visually as a lost end plate or anything significant like that. Stone Towel's made his way in for repairs. He might just be thankful to be able to keep going at this stage. And who's that off at the first corner? It's still the Shiz. Possibly an incident similar to those couple we saw in qualifying. Going around the first corner, right-hander, and just continuing to go right into the fence. The curbs there are pretty deadly. One slip of the throttle and you're going round. I said the insulator had left the session. Still appears to be there in some capacity though. Let's check in with Huddins, who has El Tonki on his tail. 3rd and 4th on track now. So following the pit stops, Jack Plays moves up to 2nd. Top 8 now. All on 11 lap old tyres, but as we got another yellow flag, there's a racing point off. Might have been Blinky. This looks like from the highs of Bahrain to the lows of the Netherlands. But still going once more. Up ahead, there's a battle ensuing, the mid-pack now. Starting to get to know each other really well. That's Geordie, the last of those who haven't pitted yet, in 8th position. With Breno moving up behind him, probably effectively in 2nd place there, Breno, on the hards now. So it could be a soft hard strategy for many of them. Be some action heading down into the chicane here. Blinky defending against Tanguo. Oh, goes across the grass. That'll compromise in. Oh well, the racing point's going into the pits. And Tanguo continues on. Let's find that pack of cars up the front. So Mort's come in. Kept his lead too. Looks in control. So 2nd through 3rd yet to box. And Mort still has a comfortable gap. He could be sitting pretty here if he can just make his way through to the end of the race. Look after those tyres. Could be 25 points up for grabs. Leading up the rest of the pack, WA Huddins in the Renault. He's not ready to box yet. He's going to eke every last little bit out of those soft tyres. And Tanguo gets a time penalty. Looks like for exceeding track limits. So the two, was that an incident down further? Did those two come together? Might have been a little bit of action between these two down at the chicane. Still the shiz, mashed potato. Back to the action up front. So it's a Red Bull 3-4 at the moment with El Tonki, Ken Tenma. Both yet to box. Same goes for Captain Kino in the lead Ferrari. Neither Ferrari boxing yet either. And look at that train of cars. You see Jensen in the background harassing Breno for 6th place. It's a key position to have, the one Breno's holding there, if they can get ahead and these other cars come in through pits. As we see the AlphaTauri dive up the inside. And Breno makes it stick. That'll put a nice bit of breathing space between himself and the Mercedes of Jensen. Oh, and there's contact in the background. There's a Ferrari and a Mercedes into the wall, and it's Jensen. He's gotten caught up in it. Front wing spewing across the track. And Captain Kino is out. Consider it binned. One Ferrari gone. Jensen continues on, but he's going to have to box again. And he won't be able to get to the pits in any real hurry with a virtual safety car out on track. Still the Shiz gets a penalty for speeding under it, as his day goes from bad to worse. Takes the chance to come into the pits. So we'll get back to WA Huddins. He's in second now. He's still going to have the attention of the two Red Bulls. If the virtual safety car stays out long enough, you'd think these guys would be jumping into the pits. Huddins wide. Here comes the Renault. Surely the two Red Bulls follow. One stays out. Ken Tenma decides to stay on track as the race goes green again. So did he time that? Has he timed this well, Ken? This will be interesting. He's going to be pushing now, I think. He may box on the next lap. He's got some clear air. He needs to put in some hot laps, see if he can get out in front of these guys who now depart the pits. Huddins in 10th, El Tonki 11th. And up ahead is Neva Sweden. So it's still Mort in the lead. Ken Tenma second, yet to stop. And there's your leader. Coming around the final lap, about to start lap 17. And looking comfortable, in control, oblivious of all the carnage happening behind him. Now Ken Tenma, as expected, boxes. Now where will this spit him out compared to his teammates? Meanwhile, I think Jack Plays has gotten caught up there with possibly with Breno in the first corner. Maybe it was Geordie. Gets going once more. See now, yes, here comes Ken Tenma out of the pits. He's made that work to some extent. Keeps in front of El Tonki's teammate, but Huddins up ahead gets away. It was worth a try. You've got to try something different sometimes. Take a step ahead. So a train of cars forming back here. The installator still technically nowhere to be seen. Neva Sweden moves past and into 7th. Jack Plays in the foreground, locking the tyre hard through the chicane. So Geordie up front, still yet to pit. And as we see Jack Plays, he's going to come in now. I assume needs some front wing damage fixed. Yeah, Geordie in the sole remaining Ferrari in 3rd, still going on those 17 lap old mediums. I guess he's quite happy on them at the moment. Happy to go into tyre conservation mode, one would assume, rather than, I don't know if he's going to try, I assume he's going to try and stretch him right out to take softs at the end. I would assume if he was going to go hards, he would have boxed by now, but I'm not the driver. These guys are the experts. That'll be interesting nonetheless to see what he does. So meanwhile, that battle down in 6th has failed to dissipate between Neva Sweden and WA Huddins, who wants that 6th place. Started in 5th, Huddins. And he's got plenty of speed to burn down the start-finish straight. He's going to go right round the outside, way before the corner, and gets it done comfortably. Moves up to 6th, and we'll head out after 4K0 in the McLaren. So Tango on the 7-lap old hard, starting to close in on Geordie. He's doing his best to make those mediums last, but at 19 laps old now, he won't be able to hold Tango back. Moves up into 3rd place, having started 4th. Obviously it's 4K0, the one that's lost out at the moment. He started 2nd, down to 5th at the moment. And Geordie's going to stay out there longer. The next, and 4K0 is the next man to move up onto his gearbox. And we'll be looking to dispose of him pretty quickly. Take a quick lap around with Mort, comfortably in the lead, just caressing those tyres. Down to 5th for the right-hander, quick drop into 2nd to get the car rotating through that airpin, bank corner, almost blind on exit. Doesn't hit 8th gear, drops to 6th to get it round as he's closing in to lap the mashed potato. And just taking it all nice and smoothly. Plenty of engine braking involved. Serve those tyres. Down to the chicane. Not a lock tyre in sight. Contrary to what we've seen throughout this race so far. Plenty of rubber left on the track down there. And nice and easy on the power out of the last corner. It's looking comfortable, Mort. 15 laps to go. Can he hold on? Breno 9 seconds behind in 2nd. On the hards himself. So we'll quickly pop down to 13th, where Jack Plays has just gone past Jensen for 12th. Both having to do recent pit stops following their respective incidents. It'll be interesting to see if they can tow each other through the field. Jensen getting really close through the first corner there. Front wing tucked under the gearbox. And McLaren of Jack just stepping out slightly on exit. There goes Jensen wide again. It's not a favourite corner of his today. Should have given him nightmares. And that gives Jack Place some breathing space. We've got a racing point off. That was after the hairpin. Might have got it crossed up on the exit. Continues on, but he'll be doing so without a piece of his front wing. He's going to have to box, get some repairs done. And I said previously, from the highs of his win in Bahrain to the lows of the Netherlands, well, I've just gotten a bit lower for poor old Blinky. He'll have to box for a new front wing, and that might be his day dusted, unless we see a safety car or something similar. So following the first lot of stops, the field is quite spread out at the moment. We've got a Mercedes off. Is it still the Shiz? Might have got on the gas a bit too hard coming out of the chicane at the end of the lap there. And he is also sans front wing as he boxes accordingly. Not a happy day, unfortunately. That's racing sometimes. So yeah, the field relatively spread out after the first lot of stops. Neva Sweden in 7th. Less than a second behind WA Huddens. And Geordie's finally come into the pits. He's going to say a happy goodbye to those 23-lap old mediums. Chucks the softs on. And that should spit him out in 9th place. To get out in front of the installator. Holds on as the Stone Towel sets the fastest lap of the race. So it'll be interesting to see what Geordie can do now with these soft tyres. He could be the X factor of the race. Not suggesting he's going to make his way up to the front, but we'll be intrigued, no doubt, to see how many places he can make up. All the drivers ahead of him, at least on 7-lap older tyres or 2 compounds harder. And he promptly wastes little time pulling away from the installator. Closest battle on track, Neva Sweden refusing to let WA Huddens go. Even on the older, harder tyres. See WA Huddens, big lock up in front. So only 11 laps to go. And Mort, even driving comfortably, still just maintaining that gap perfectly. It just stays at 9 seconds over Breno. He's looking on course for a big haul of points. Only the 3rd race of the season, but a win for Mort would throw him right up there in the championship standings. Who's gone round? It's the Stone Towel, I think. Set the fastest lap. And then promptly sets his tyres on fire with a spin as he kept his wing intact. It would appear so. And sets off once more. So we'll check back with Neva Sweden. He's still just slightly closing, hand over fist on WA Huddens. Gap now less than half a second. Will the DRS be enough? I don't think he's going to be quite close enough to get in overtake range heading down to the chicane. Might be close enough to get it done down the start-finish straight. It's not a particularly long start-finish straight, actually. It looks like WA Huddens will do enough to keep Neva Sweden at bay. Good exit for Neva Sweden. Despite being on the harder tyre, he just looks a bit more comfortable than WA Huddens. And I think there's going to be some guys in this race with some serious tyre issues as we close in on the last few laps. They'll be driving out of their comfort zone, I dare say. Neva Sweden is just ever slightly reducing that gap per lap. Going to get a good run here down into the chicane. The Renault moves to block. Sweden goes to the outside. He's going to stick it around there. Great move. This is fantastic with the Renault forced wide. Just a little bit of elbows out, and that was a great move. Neva Sweden, hats off. made it stick. And moves up into 4th position. Another driver will be looking for a decent haul of points. Renault closes back in on him down the straight. He moves to defend just to make sure no bold moves take place up the inside. And looks like he might stick it in 4th. Well done. He's got a few cars behind him now while those two were battling. Huddins and Ken Tenma have Ken Tenma and 4K0 have closed in 6th and 7th. And I think the other pass of the installator has come a cropper out of 4. I assume that's called turn 4. I don't really know the turn numbers on this track yet, but I'm going with 4. And now he's got Rockmeeky right on his tail. There was a call in the comments earlier asking to show Rockmeeky. Let's see if he can get a move done here on the installator. So on lap 29, it's Mort. He's been in control the whole way. Took pole by just less than a 10th. And with 7 laps to go, he's looking the goods. 7 laps to go. 8-second lead over Breno. He's been solid himself. Take nothing away from Breno down there. He's just driven a solid race so far. And those guys in the top 4 are going to take those hards to the end. Tanguo in 3rd. Neva Sweden some 8 seconds behind Tanguo in 4th, having just dispatched WA Huddins on the prior lap. Although Huddins won't let him go. And there's a 4-way battle here, potentially for 4th spot. As we see Ken Tenma locking the brakes up with 4K0 on his tail. Up ahead there's the Renault and Neva Sweden going side by side. That'll make your hair curl side by side through some of those fast sections. Down further, is it Jack Plays? No, it was 4K0's come a cropper and he gets passed by his teammate Jack Plays, who in turn is trying to take El Tonki, gets a tank slapper on through that fast entry to the right-hander. Did well to hang on to it. And he smells blood in the water, Jack Plays. Slightly younger tyres, slightly softer compound. He's determined here. DRS opens as they head down to the chicane. Jack Plays moves to go up the inside, gets all 4 wheels locked heading in. That's dangerous. Oh, good way to go sliding into the car in front of you, but gathers it up. Play on. Now he's going to close right in as they go into the start-finish straight now. Look at him smelling the back of El Tonki. Moves up the inside. Gets it done. El Tonki yields. And Jack Plays moves up to 7th. Up ahead is Ken Tenma, Huddins and Neva Sweden. Battling it out for 4th place. I don't think Huddins and Ken Tenma will be happy just to let the positions stay as is. They'll be looking for more points. It's been an interesting race. As I said, I haven't watched a race on this track before, but we've seen the guys. There's been plenty of opportunity to follow another driver, stick with the guy in front of you, but the overtakes haven't been readily available. As we see now, Huddens, he's going to take up, well, just shows his cards up the inside there, just to remind Neva Sweden he's there. But Neva Sweden not phased. Continues on. So these guys look set to battle right through to the checkered flag. Neva Sweden approaching some lap cars. They'll ghost out of the way accordingly. Oh, what's happened back there? There's some contact between, I think that was the mashed potato and still the shiz. I think they locked wheels back there, sending the Mercedes round. Hasn't been a happy day for the guys in 15th, 16th and 17th, and not to mention the only DNF of the race so far, Captain Keno. Unhappy times all round. So that's Blinky in 15th. 4K0, he's dropped down to 14th. That's unfortunate. He was duking it out with the best of them up near the front. Second place in qualifying by less than a tenth. He was just shy of pole. And what looked set to be a promising race has just turned sour. And doesn't appear, unfortunately, the McLaren driver is going to pick up any points today. Back to Mort out front. Starting his third last lap. Still with plenty of lead now. Happy to use up some of those hard tyres now. Locking into the fourth corner. And meanwhile, Ken Tenma down in sixth is about to make a run on WA. Huddens gets it done before the corner. So Huddens struggling on those mediums now. They've almost done half the race distance. And it's starting to show a bit. He should just hang on to sixth at this rate. I can't really see him coming back at Ken Tenma. Although if Ken catches up to Neva Sweden in fourth and those two start to tangle, could open up an opportunity for Huddens yet. So one stop for all the main guys. We saw Jack Plays having to come in again. He's done well to get back to seventh. A lot of the guys underneath having to stop a second time for some damage repairs of some description. Ken Tenma, what's he going to say about Neva Sweden? He's only got a lap and a bit to get it done. See the position changes coming up on the left there. Both fourth and fifth having done very well, keeping their nose out of trouble to move up 11 places with each. I'm sure they'll be more than a little happy with a fourth and fifth position. So we'll ride with Ken Tenma, trying to track the Swede down. As meanwhile our race leader Mort starts the last lap. So Ken Tenma Will he try and do something? Will he try and force a move? Make something happen? Will he settle for 5th place? Closes in into the first corner, not close at all. Now he's close. Eva Sweden just taking it very easy upon exit. Runs wide out of the 4th corner. Meanwhile, just pop in up front and pay a visit to Mort, the man who's had this race in control from minute 1. Just pipped the others for pole position. Got the perfect start, and it looks like it's going to be a perfect lights to finish victory for Mort to make himself a real part of the Drivers' Championship standing. It's a win for Mort. Well done, mate. Oh, and what's happened? WA Huddins has gone off. Meanwhile, still some drama yet on the last lap. He's been passed by Jack Plays. Ken Tenmar still stalking the Haas. But it looks like he's just going to run out of time. Solid race nonetheless. Oh, hang on, he's not done yet. What's happened? What happened to the Swede? There's a crash up ahead. Oh, no end of drama yet. What happened to Neva Sweden? Coming out of the last corner, I don't know if he thought he'd crossed the finish line, or did I miss what happened? No sign of punctures or anything. He's just dropped that place right at the death there. Ken Tenmar swoops on the opportunity, takes 4th. And that'll be it for racing today. So I'll be keen to know what happened to Neva Sweden at the end there. Ken Tenmar, driver of the day, making up 12 places. Impressive effort. Oh, selfie on the podium, very flash. There's your winner for today. Mort moves himself up into the championship contention now after 3 races gone. He'll be pretty tight at the top. 2nd place, Breno. And solid drive. Looked like mostly clean racing on the most part. There was a few incidents down the back of the field, but missed a few of those. But yeah, there's your results. And that'll be all from the Dutch Grand Prix and round 3 of the PS4 Elite Series Tier 3. I'm your host, Mike Wilson. Thanks for joining us wherever you may be watching. We look forward to having you with us next week. Remember to get involved in the comments. Get involved in the action. Have your say. We'd love it when you join us and make some comments. Cheer on your favourite driver. Maybe you see something we missed. We want you involved. That'll be all for now. I'm Mike Wilson. Goodbye.